Good afternoon, traders. It is February 4th, 2021, just after the closing bell, and I've been sticking with a theme. Is it time to get back on the short bus? And I have been trying and trying to catch that short. And today, this is one of those crazy days where the internals were just kind of suspect from the first after the first 15 minutes. The internals was just suspect. And what I mean by suspect, it didn't give me a clear go to enter a short. So I basically sat on my hands the whole day, with the exception of closing a overnight position I had just in case we gapped down. I did take two puts in which I closed out for slight losses, but that was just kind of a risk thing, just because I wanted to make sure that I was in just in case it gapped down. So that 40 or 50 bucks is worth it. It's like insurance to me. But the internals was just suspect all day, and it just never gave me a clear cut entry or a reversal sign that was useful or that was validated. I am a keen person on divergence, and one of the lessons that I had to remind myself of today, when you're looking for divergence, you're usually looking for differences in price action and whatever your indicator is. And usually you get a validation of a high or low, and then a non-validation of a high or low. But this morning we kind of never got the first validation. Price made highs, but the indicators that I was looking at never validated the high. So it was suspect to me. And then you had a breath that just kind of stayed almost locked at a certain level. And it was just suspect to me. So I could never feel comfortable pulling the trigger. And luckily, I didn't. And it proved right today, because I didn't get the hints and signs that I looked for. Nothing was validated. So I am still waiting to catch that short bus, but so far not on it. Still waiting for things to be validated. Maybe tomorrow will be different. But as I said in the pre-market outlook, I'm looking for at least a 2 standard deviation move to happen between today and tomorrow. There's no saying that it's going to be to the short side. It could possibly be to the upside. That is quite possible. So I have to be aware and definitely have my risk under control, and be aware of risk at all times, and make sure that you are not exposed to a point further than you would like to be, or something further than you would don't mind losing at the time. But because of that, especially here on the SPY, which is definitely what I was looking for, it basically bust through, but I can go back and let's see. Today's open was somewhere about here, so we did get a one standard deviation to the upside. We're so far out of the market maker's move that one thing that I will probably do, now actually I'll try to do that right now. Let's take a look at the market maker's move. I may place a butterfly for tomorrow, saying that we'll close back inside that move. It's a cheap way to get some insurance, or cheap way to kind of call it. Let's see here. That's definitely not going to show what I'm looking for. We're 5 points outside of the market maker's move. So what I'm going to do, I will execute a butterfly for tomorrow. Let's see how this turns out. Give me just a moment. Alright, I decided to try to execute a butterfly here. It's pretty close after hours. It may not take. Even if it doesn't take, I'm going to set it up to hopefully execute first thing at the open. As a matter of fact, we'll do that now, just to set one up. Set that up at 380. That's not right. Okay, we were able to get that butterfly executed right at 381, and basically what I'm doing, I'm placing a bet saying that we're going to close somewhere in here tomorrow, or we're going to come back in that range at some point tomorrow. And it's a cheap way. It's like one of those long shot bets. It's like placing $1 on the dog with the longest odds at the track, or really cheap. It's, you know, just a couple of bucks, but it has a pretty good payout if it happens. So it's just something to kind of see if we can get that executed. At some point I do see a pullback. Even if we do go further, I do see a pullback at some point. But I didn't want to get caught. Yesterday I only took the put trade just in case there was a gap down overnight, because we faded going into the close. And with that fade, if that action could have continued, we could have gapped down, but we ended up gapping up. But it wasn't the normal trend day gap up. Even though we did pretty much go up in succession and things looked to be a trend day. Let's see here. This is not the normal trend day model, but we did have a complete succession pretty much straight up today. But the internals didn't give me that trend day model. So all day today I was looking for a range day to test the lower end of the range, but we never did in the SPY. Apple gave me a little bit of a, we'll say a little bit of a range. More so of a range day than anything else. So did the Qs. But even with the Qs giving me that range, because of the internals, I just never felt comfortable placing that trade. So hopefully I can catch it in time tomorrow, because it is looking like we could have a kind of blow off day to the downside. And actually I expect a stranger circumstance tomorrow, and that strange circumstance is that we're probably going to come in with a lot of strength on the internals, and if the tick opens up at plus 1,000, we could see a pullback right off the open, and that's what I'll be looking for. But just letting you know, hadn't got on the bus yet, still looking for those shorts. Wishing you profitable trading. Know your risk. Have a great day.